All right, here it is. This is my setup. I have shelves that can hold multiple trays at once because I like to grow several varieties and I like having a steady rotation. This is not what you need to start. This is what happens after you've decided microgreens are staying in your life. Let's talk shelves first. I built mine out of basic lumber because I wanted something sturdy, simple, and customizable. I didn't want flimsy plastic wobbling while I'm trying to water trays, because water and wobbling and basement floor is a mood I don't need. Shelves are just a way to keep trays organized. They're not magical. They don't grow the greens. They just hold them. So, next are the trays. Down there, I keep blackout trays because I generally sow my seed and put it down here to germinate. The blackout trays go on them after they've germinated, and then they go up and they get put on the shelves that have the lights. You can start with 1 or 2 trays. You don't need a stack of 10. You don't need a whole system. A couple of trays are enough to learn the process. Now the lights. If you take one thing from this video, take this. Light is the most important part of a microgreen setup because light determines whether your greens grow sturdy, upright and healthy, or stretched, pale and flopped like they've given up. So those pea shoots right there were underneath without any light. I really don't care because I'm going to chop them off anyway, but if you want them to be like those up there, you need them to be under lights. Next is watering, and this is where people either drown them or forget them. I keep it simple. I check the moisture regularly. See, this one doesn't have any, and these pea shoots are big, so they're going to get watered. I don't let a tray turn into a swamp, and I don't let it dry out into a desert. Microgreens like consistent moisture. They don't like chaos. Why does my setup look like a lot? Because I grow multiple trays at different stages. I like having some growing, like down there, some getting harvested, and some just getting started. It gives me a steady supply. But here's the part I want you to hear. You can grow microgreens with a setup that's about the size of a cutting board. This is the one that makes microgreens feel doable. If you want to start on a counter or a small table, here's what you do. You can do 1 tray. I like 2, and here's why. This one has holes. This one does not. As I showed you earlier in this video, the pea shoots and anything else will grow in this one. The roots will come down. The water is here. You're not soaking the plants, and you can monitor way easier when they're dry and when they're not. Anyway, 1 or 2 trays, you decide. A light, a little space that you can keep consistent, and level. That's it. You can put it on a kitchen cart, a small table, a shelf, even a desk in a spare room, and you will still grow microgreens. If you want to be a little fancier, still very simple, do this. 1 growing, 1 planted or resting. That gives you a rotation and keeps you from feeling, oh no, I ate them all. Beginner setup number 3 is a small shelf. You could have it in a basement, a laundry room, a closet, wherever you can find a spot, because they're not going to leak all over the place with this kind of a setup either. They don't need a palace. They need stable temperature, and it can be a little warmer or a little cooler. It doesn't matter, as long as it's relatively stable, decent light, and you paying attention once a day. You can do that. Now let me tell you what I wouldn't buy if you're just starting. I would not buy an expensive kit that has a whole bunch of stuff in it that you don't even know what it is yet. Because here's what happens. You spend a lot of money, and then you still don't know what you're doing. And then it feels frustrating instead of fun. Start simple and get a win. Then upgrade only if you want to. My setup is not the goal. The goal is microgreens growing in your house, fresh greens on your plate, a little bit of food independence, and the feeling of, I grew this. That's the win. So let me boil it down to the things that matter most. The light, which is more important than people think. Moisture, consistent, not swampy. Airflow. Some basic airflow is helpful. A small fan if you need one. Not overseeding, especially with the small seeds. Starting with easy varieties. Peas, radish, and broccoli. If you start there, you're going to do just fine. So let me know. Do you want a setup that's on a kitchen counter, a shelf, a spare room, or a basement corner? If you've tried this and want to kick it up a notch, there's a couple of other small things you might add. One of them is the tiny fan. It would be helpful if you overwatered or are uncertain about how often you should water. The other is a level. It doesn't have to be a very big one. You could set a small one on a yardstick or a piece of wood or something, just to make sure that that flat is level. Because your water's going to go this way or this way, and you just want it to go both ways. And if you'd like my input, if you want to buy anything else, I'm happy to help. Tell me your space and your budget, and I'll tell you what's worth it and what's silly. In the next video, we're going to talk seeds, because I'm going to show you all the bloody seeds I have and why I have them. And I'll also help you figure out what seeds are worth starting with and which ones can wait until you feel a little more confident. All right, that's the setup. Remember, start small, get your win, then expand if you want to. There's a winter storm here today, but it doesn't get to take fresh food away from us. I'll see you in the next video.